Okay, so this is something a little bit different. It's still me talking about things in my own healing and just stuff going on. But it's something that I had to gather the courage to even make this video, but I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do, and how I'm supposed to address this and handle it. So I wrote everything down from the greeting all the way through, and I'm just gonna mostly be reading from the page because I want to make sure I'm not stumbling over or forgetting an important part of what it is that I'm trying to say here or anything like that. So I'm just going to start reading through it, and try to get through. Hello again, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. My name is Rachel, and I would like to start this video today by saying this is not part of what I initially intended to share right now. And in fact, I already had weeks worth of talking points lined up. But this was something important and pressing that I felt needed to be addressed. Also, I have written it all down properly beforehand because I want to make sure I do it right. This was not a decision made lightly or overnight, but through much thought and prayer have I come to it. All that said, today's video is regarding something that has come to my attention involving my husband, soon-to-be ex-husband. And that is that he's been watching my videos and reading the comments. Offhand, that may not sound like anything, but I want to be clear. I'm not saying that I have a problem with him doing that if he wants to. That he is now keeping track of my channel is not the issue. I am only bringing it up because of the circumstances surrounding it and how I actually found out. I found out because he told me the last time he was home. But he did so in a roundabout way that, especially with everything I've been learning, raised some immediate red flags for me as being among his calm, cool, and collected, more covert intimidation tactics. I admit that for years now, much of his tactics have been more covert in nature. As he got older and I got quieter, he seemed to like the attention and praise he received from outsiders' views when he toned things down and changed his attitude around others. But he knows the fear instilled earlier in our relationship and from years ago, even throughout my childhood, that I tend to go silent, dormant, or back down when intimidated or belittled in different ways. And he has often used that to his advantage. So it's important to note that he didn't say, "So I've been watching some of your videos and trying to understand how you feel or how you've been hurt." He didn't say, "I've been watching and I can see you are healing and getting stronger." He didn't say, "I've started watching and I'm sorry for how much I hurt you." No, these are just examples I'm giving to show how he could have handled it, to show he had good intentions for watching. Not that I am trying at all to dictate or control what he says or does. As I've said, he can do whatever he wants. But what he said was, "I know that dress. It's from episode 38, right?" Note, this was a dress I've had for a while, mind you, and I've worn it many times, so this was just a way to start the topic he wanted to address. I was taken aback and just stared at him for a moment, taking in what he had said and what he might have really meant by it. Because with him, there is almost always more than what is showing on the surface, and it made me feel very uncomfortable, which I believe was part of the intent. After a moment, I asked him plainly, "When did you start watching my videos?" I didn't ask this being cold at all, but because he had never cared before, not just about what was on the channel, but over all the years we were together. If I ever tried to talk to him or share how I felt through my poetry or otherwise, he would just get offended if it was something he perceived to be about him, or say things like, "Yeah, I guess that's okay if you like that sort of thing, but I'm not really into that stuff, you know that." Or, "We don't have money to spend on publishing your writing. We would just be throwing the money away because no one's going to buy it." If I tried to talk to him about anything outside of poetry, he would just get angry or shut it down or turn it around, and a lot of time there would be gaslighting involved where he would pretend he didn't say or do something, or it was just always anything but what could actually help address an issue and things get better, or that involved him having to do any type of introspection or admit or recognize that he had done something hurtful or wrong in a situation. Which brings up another point of how he likes to randomly ask when he can tell that I'm in good spirits about everything, "How many books have you sold?" But he asks condescendingly, like he's proving his point. The thing is, I self-published at the beginning of this year, and there's nobody but me promoting it, and I live in the middle of nowhere. So besides this channel and a recent trip to Dallas for promoting it, there hasn't really been much of getting it out there. So nobody really even knows that it exists. And no, I haven't sold many copies. Thanks for asking. He didn't respond to my question with an answer, though. He just went on to say how he had been checking out some of my little videos and that he recognized the dress. Then one of the boys asked me something, and that was it. The night before he left, though, he wanted to be sure I was thinking about it and to both reiterate and elaborate on what he'd said previously, seemingly so that I was also thinking about what he truly meant. This time he used seeing one of my shorts on a list as the boys and I scrolled through YouTube as a way to bring it up. He said, "So was I right about the dress being from episode 38? I said, "It was 37. He said, "But I was close." I said, "Yeah." And again I asked when it was that he even started watching them. This time he said, "Oh, I've been watching and reading all the comments," and started bringing up who he saw commenting the most, but not saying anything about what he saw or heard, mind you, just that he saw and heard. And added, "I just haven't commented anything myself," which really stood out to me because I'd been noticing the past couple of weeks that it would show a higher number of comments than were actually there on some of the videos, and I thought that was odd. And I remembered that the last time he had been home, which from this point had been a couple of weeks prior, the boys and I had been talking, and they both have YouTube channels too. They don't show themselves or have their voice on them. They show videos about the games they play or rocks or our pets. And it was mentioned that I had over 200 subscribers now, and that seemed to pique his interest, and he had questions. Again, I want to state that I know he isn't watching because he cares. Not about anything concerning the reasons behind what I'm doing or why. He only cares that I'm doing it, and now that people are starting to take notice, it has, in his mind, the potential to be problematic for him. He didn't care when he thought no one was paying any attention to it. He thought that, if anything, I would realize he was right, give up, and stop. But what he is concerned about now is that if people are starting to show interest, what's being said about him? Another thing I asked him that night was, why are you watching them though? You never cared before. Are you just watching for laughs? Two things here. One, this was another point where he could have explained his reasons, but he didn't. And two, laughing at my writing was something else he used to do back in the day before I stopped writing for years because of how much he hurt me over it and made me doubt myself. But his only response was, no, why would you think that? I've just been watching all your little videos, and he made a point then to say on all your channels, or on y'all's channels. On y'all's channels. So the boys chimed in and asked, so you've been watching our videos too? To which he said, no, I'm not going to lie. I haven't seen them. And I could just see the disappointment and hurt in their faces. But he didn't seem to notice as he went on to assure me that it wasn't anything nefarious or sinister or something like that. I can't remember the exact word he used. But I picked up with the boys on what they were trying to say about their newest videos and mentioned some of what they were about. And we started talking about how many subscribers they had on their channels now. Then my oldest asked if he had subscribed to my channel since he was watching it, and he said, no, I'm not subscribed to any of your channels, though he is subscribed to our youngest son's channel. But when that was pointed out, he changed the subject to his blood pressure and upcoming appointment. And that was the end of it. Now, my reasons for sharing this has nothing to do with me trying to overshare my personal life or even trying to make him look bad in some way. The reason I decided to share this experience comes down to the use of intimidation and how it can be and often is used, how fear is often used to control and silence us so that we don't speak up when they want us to be quiet. He knows that I struggle to talk to him anymore about something that's wrong when I've been intimidated in that way. I mean, through use of fear tactics, whether covert or overt, like him pointing out, I'm watching you, or someone openly screaming and yelling in anger. Makes no difference because they all have the same effect. No matter what it is that's wrong, because of how things went for the first few years in our relationship and before he went covert, and things that I faced going all the way back to my early childhood. And sadly, he likes to use that to his advantage. A big part of our trauma bond was me learning not to try and open up, talk about, or bring up anything real or deep because it only made things worse. then he viewed that as us having a perfect relationship because we never fought anymore. Because of all that I've been learning, I can finally see a lot of red flags, tricks, and tactics that I was blind to before. I know if he had real, true, or good intentions for watching my channel, he would have had an honest and open answer when he asked, and I would have been able to tell. But that's not what happened, and I'm left with the exact opposite feeling about it. And I don't think there is any good reason behind his newfound interest in my channel. So, after much prayerful thought and mindful consideration, I decided this was the best way to address the matter. To start with, because it highlights the point that I'm not going to stop or be quiet. This is not just about me, but about so many others going through or who have gone through similar situations. And if he is watching, then it affords me the opportunity to speak and hopefully have him actually listen to what I'm saying. My hope is that it won't be another case of miscommunication or just be swept under the rug as it so often has in the past. So if you are listening, I'm not sharing any of this or anything that I've shared to hurt you or do anything against you. What I'm doing here isn't even about you. It's about healing and growing. It's about overcoming the trauma and moving forward. I haven't said who you are, and I have no intention to. I haven't lied or anything, and I have no reason to. This isn't about hurting or trying to hurt anyone. This is about deciding that I won't contribute to my own hurt any longer by sitting in silence and allowing it to continue. It's about my own healing and the boys as well, who have also been hurt by a lot of it. And it's about helping others when and where I can, helping them to find their own voices and to be brave enough to use them. I want to say, I'm sorry if this video turned out longer than what I've been trying to keep them at, but with this one, there was just so much to unpack, and I felt it was necessary to take the proper amount of time to go over it all in the right way. I want to end, as I always do, by encouraging you all along your own path to healing and growing. Keep getting stronger every day. It is possible to be brave enough, or it is possible to be brave even in the face of intimidation. Don't put you or anyone in harm's way, but don't feel you have no choice but to fall silent and just take it either. You have the right to be you and to love yourself for who you truly are. Remember that, and always remember to make time for yourselves because you matter too. I love you all so much and hope to see you again next time.